Oh, I had a collection of one-off jobs, yard work in a men's store, paint shutters. But my really first job, where I threw my heart and soul in it, was running the ski club at my college. So this is at the University of Southern California, or USC, and it was just the USC Ski Club. I went to the first meeting of the year, and the guy from the university stood up and said, well, the leaders of the ski club all graduated, so who wants to be president? A couple guys pointed to me and said, him. Well, no one else was stupid enough to run, so I inherited what was essentially a dead ski club. One event we ran at the beginning of the year to get a lot of publicity so we could get members was we hauled in a whole ton of crushed ice. We built a ramp in the center of the campus, and it was a hot fall day, probably 95 degrees, and we piled all the crushed ice up to make a ski run, and then a couple of us skied on the run a few times, right in the center of campus where you couldn't miss it. The whole experience was quite formative in my life. One, the principle of solve the customer's big problem, which is what we've done at Intuit, finding the biggest problems in small business or personal finance and solving them. Secondly, find a great wheel maker and learn from them. Don't try to reinvent the wheel to start with. And I happened to find another ski club president who had built a sizable ski club. And he had great ideas, so I learned a ton from him and then just applied a bunch of his ideas. Thirdly, recognize the psychological needs people have. A lot of students join the ski club not just for the practical of the skiing, but for the psychological, for the ability to find a social circle and find friends in what was then a very large campus. And you could really see that playing a role in people's lives. My intention at the time was to get a PhD in economics and work in a policy role for the federal or state government. But as I did the ski club, I said, well, this is a lot more fun. And boy, I'm touching a lot of lives right away. I think I'll switch to business. So I switched to business, and because of the ski club, got an MBA, and changed my life direction.